Hi everyone, I just wanted to introduce myself. I go by Pearl Girl on the computer, and I wanted to tell you I have never done anything like this in my life. I am not a computer junkie. I am not into social media, but I feel like this is my purpose to help educate children who struggle with reading difficulties. I have a daughter who has dyslexia. She has been formally diagnosed by a neuropsychologist. She also has dyscalculia, dysgraphia, ADHD, executive functioning issues. So I have seen her struggles with learning how to read, how to spell, how to sound out words, with her comprehension, with her working memory. I have journeyed with her on her challenges, struggles, and accomplishments to tackle our language. She was diagnosed when she was in third grade. And I have also seen it from my perspective as a parent who has watched her struggle, who has watched her celebrate, who has watched her overcome these challenges, because life is very difficult if it is difficult for you to read. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I feel like I've been compelled to do this. I'm doing this purely to help your kids. There is no ulterior motive. I have a full-time job, but I know how important it is to give kids instruction that is explicit, that is structured, that's analytical, that's cumulative, that's comprehensive. The reason I know this is I have been in a program. I'm still in it, actually. It's been 4 years that I have been learning how to help kids who have dyslexia. And it has been the hardest program I've ever done. The volume of just studying is crazy. I didn't realize how difficult our language was. Reading has always been easy for me, and I love to read. So when I realized my daughter had challenges with reading and she hated it, it really chipped away at my heart, because it's so important in our world. Even though we have a lot of assistive technology, you still need to be able to have the basic skills to read, not only just for fluency, but for comprehension, and just to be able to express yourself to other people. And with reading challenges, it's hard to decode the word, which is basically breaking up the word. It's also hard to encode the word. And as I mentioned, I've been in a program, I'm still in it, through the Dyslexia Center. And basically, I've been taking classes, and as a trade-off, we actually tutor kids who have dyslexia. So I've been very involved in this in the past 4 years. This has been my passion and my calling. I feel like I need to help kids who struggle with education, struggle academically, struggle in school. I know there's a lot of other emotional issues that go along with having struggles with reading. The kids feel a sense of inadequacy. A lot of times they feel like they're not as intelligent. Maybe they are overtly or covertly bullied. They second guess their knowledge. It has done a number on my daughter. She's been very blessed that she's gotten the resources she needs to become a reader, and she is still working on learning how to read. It will be a lifelong challenge, even with accommodations and modifications. These kids, it never goes away. Dyslexia is a neurological condition. Their brains are completely different than other people who don't have dyslexia. You have your typical learners, which is the majority of the population. You also have your atypical learners, which are children who have learning struggles. And 20% of the population has dyslexia. For some reason, this is not really talked about as much as some of the other challenges that people suffer throughout their entire lifetime. But with the correct tools and with this proper instruction, which is called multisensory instruction, you have a better chance of helping your children to succeed in life, especially when it comes to the written word. So basically, I would love for you to watch these videos with your kids, maybe learn something. I am not a professional. I admit that. I have done my training. I've passed my initial certification for Orton Gillingham, and I'm actually almost done with my advanced certification. But I do want to clarify that I am not professional. I do not teach in a school. This is just something that I'm doing independently out of respect for my daughter's disability, learning disability, and my love for her to help her achieve whatever she wants to achieve. And she needs to have the skills to read. So that is simply why I'm doing these videos. They're not perfect. I don't rehearse them. And I just am trying to do what's right, because I have been gifted with this scholarship basically to learn how to help kids. And it makes me feel better about myself, because I know that my daughter has needed help. And there have been a lot of wonderful people in her life who have helped her along her way. And I have been her biggest advocate, and I will continue to be her advocate. And if you all are watching these videos, I know that you are advocating for your children. There are so many flaws in our educational system. I'm not even going to get into it, because that is not my place. And like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't work within the schools. But from an outsider's perspective, I am just trying to help you do what you can do to set your child up for success. So basically, these videos are very short. I'm sure a lot of your kids have ADHD. They probably have a very short attention span. They're hyperactive. They're inattentive. Trust me, I know all these characteristics of kids with ADHD. So I want to help these kids in the shortest amount of time as possible. With this multisensory instruction, you're teaching the letters or any concept very differently. There's a lot of repetition. Ideally, we would be repeating everything that we had learned from the day before in the lesson, but I'm not going to do that because I just don't have the time. Not that I don't have the time, but it wouldn't be as effective. So if you can get your children to practice everything at night, that would probably be the best, because we have a lot of material to cover. But the more your children repeat these sounds and they mirror what I'm doing as far as identifying the sound that goes with a letter, that will help your kids get as much as they can from these lessons. With any type of learning disability, you need the repetition. You need to make sure that there is automaticity with their response, and they also need to have it be correct. So if you could just sit with your kids, maybe help them. And I'm having them write it and say the sound, because that is what I learned. That helps imprint the sound in their brain. These children learn very differently than other learners. For most people, we are pretty much self-taught readers. These kids, they're not. That is just, it's the reality. And then I use the ball, because that is the multisensory instruction. That is giving them something to do while they're learning. So as the lessons progress, they probably will get a little bit longer, because I will be helping them form basic words, simple words. But first we need to get all the sound letter correlations in their brain. And then we need to start putting some of the letters together to make like consonant blends, maybe something called a diphthong, which is like the SH, TH, and a few other rules. So as soon as we get the gist of the important rules, the basic ones that are used the most frequently, then the lessons probably will be a little bit longer, because I will help your children build real world and also nonsense words. And we build nonsense words because it helps the kids learn that there are patterns in our language. Our language has a lot of exceptions, but if your kids can learn the basic rules and the basic structure of our language and the letter sound correspondence, then that will help them to succeed. So this is pretty much all I'm going to say for now. If you have any questions, I would love to answer your questions to the best of my ability. And if your kids have any ideas, if they have something they want to share with me, that would be wonderful. The more you can get them to write the letter with the sound, the more successful they'll be. Maybe if they want to draw a picture like A is A is A, or maybe they'll want to make like a friendship bracelet and put like the different letters on it. I have looked at different craft stores, and it looks like there's only the uppercase letters. The uppercase letters are easier for kids, but since we use lowercase letters, if they would write this on maybe like a bead and make a friendship bracelet, have them use the lowercase, because these are the letters that are in our words. So they They could do that. They could bounce a balloon around. I don't want to say too many things because I'm keeping it simple and I don't want you to have to spend a lot of money. I spent $150 an hour getting my daughter instruction, multisensory instruction. So I know that it costs a lot of money to help your child if there is something that maybe there's a deficit. So I'm trying to keep this as cheap and inexpensive as possible for you. And also I don't want to do anything that would, like offend you or maybe harm them. So if they do anything beyond what I'm doing, maybe just if you could have adult supervision. But even if they can like write it in shaving cream, or in the morning if they could just repeat the letters, or if you could just put it in the car and say like B is B, B is B. The more that your child will see the letters and understand the correlation and automatically identify the sound, that is going to be what is going to help. You can watch these videos over and over. Like I said, there is no hidden agenda. There's no ulterior motive. I am just a normal person who wants to help your kids, because I know that my daughter has blossomed from the help she's been given from professionals. And I know there is a huge chasm, a huge gap in the way that kids are taught and the kids who are not taught properly and how they can learn. Your kids are not expensive. Your kids are just as intelligent as all the other kids. They just learn differently. And for some reason, our school systems don't address that. But like I said, I don't want to get political. I don't really know what's going on a lot as far as like politics. But I want to help your kids. I want to help you help your kids. So that's my sole purpose. So thank you for indulging me. And hopefully I will see your kids every day. And we'll just muddle through this together. And I'll learn with them. Bye-bye.